Hi, so the topic I wanted you to do today, today in the discussion is upper and lower bound. Before we start doing the question on upper and lower bound, the first thing I want you to do is to understand what upper and lower bound actually is. So what is upper bound? Let me see, why is it not working? Lower bound is the smallest value that would round up to the estimated value. So the smallest value that will give you your desired answer when rounded up is your lower bound. The largest value that will give you your required answer when rounded up is your upper bound. Okay, so let's look at an example. So the lower bound of 7 is 6.5 because 6.5 is the smallest number, which rounded up will give you 7. And the upper bound of 7 is 7.499 or 7.5. I've written that wrong, it's 7.5, as this is the largest number that will round up. Sorry, it's not rounded, it's rounded down, but when you will round it up, you will get a 7. Okay, so you can write it as an inequality, and you should know because this is how you're going to write an inequality. Although 6.5, so the number has to be the range is more than or equal to 6.5 and less but less than 7.5 because it's 7.499 recurring. Okay, how do you work out upper and lower bound? So there's an airplane going, so a number is rounded to 7. Okay, so there was a number who was rounded up to 7. Work out the lower and the upper bound. Okay, so because we are looking for the whole number is 1. So the trick is, we have already discussed it, that it would be, the lower bound would be 6.5 and the upper bound would be 7.5. But how do you calculate it? Because it's whole number, and whole number goes on 7, 8, 9, so the difference is 1. You divide the difference by 2, you get 0.5, so you add it to the rounded number, which you'll get 7.5, which is the upper bound. You take away from the round number, you'll get 6.5, which is the lower bound. So second question, a number is rounded up to 80, so there's a number round up to 80. What was the upper bound? What's the largest number possible? What's the smallest number possible? That will round up to 80. Then again, because it is 10, it's rounded up to nearest 10. You divide 10 by 2, you will get 5. Upper bound would be 85 because you add 5 to it. Lower bound would be 75 because you take away 5. And based on this, you have now understood the trick. But a quick recap. What is a recap? If I'm rounding it up to 1 decimal place, which is 1 decimal place is 0.1, half it, I'll get 0.05. Add it to your rounded number, take away. Whole number, let's say a number was rounded up to 8. What's the lower bound? Half of whole number is 0.5, so 7.5, upper bound 8.5. A number was rounded up to nearest 10. Let's say I got the answer 90. Was the smallest number possible? Half of 10 is 5, so 85. Upper bound is 95. 100, take away 50, add 50. 1000, take away 500, add 500. Okay, then following numbers had been rounded up to 2 significant figures. The trick is very easy if you understand it. You look at the position of your second significant figure. So with the first one, my second significant figure is a unit. 5 is a unit, so it's a 1. So what's half of 1? 0.5. So I add 0.5, I take away 0.5. Look at this second question, 0.56. My second significant figure is a 100. So I divided by 2, add 0.005, so my second significant figure is 0.01. Half it, 0.005, add 0.005, take away 0.005. Okay, third one, any guesses? You would have second figures of 4, which is a 10, add 5, take away 5. Try the fourth one, I'm not talking, just pause the video, try it. Here's the answer, 3550, 3450. Sorry, the print isn't clear. Okay, it's 3550 is the upper bound, 3450 is the lower bound. 2 decimal places, look at the position of the second decimal place. As if it's 2 decimal places, it would be 0.01. So you always add 0.005 and take away 0.005. If it's 3 decimal places, it would be 0.001. Add 0.0005, take away 0.0005, and you will get the answers. Pause the video, try these questions on your own. Okay, perfect. Let's move on. If we are adding, obviously nothing changed. So if you are adding and we're adding, we are subtracting, you're looking for the upper bound, we use all values of upper bound. We are subtracting, we are looking for upper bound, we use all values of upper bound. We are calculating lower bound, we use all lower bound values. We are multiplying, it remains the same. With division it's different, and you have to think about the logic. You know that the bigger the numerator, the higher the value. The smaller the numerator, the smaller the value. So for a big value, we keep a bigger numerator, we use upper bound as numerator. For a small value, if you're looking for smallest value, we use a small numerator, so we use lower bound for numerator. Let's come to the denominator. The bigger the denominator, the smaller the value. We need small value, we use big denominator. We need small value, so let's say we need lower bound, we use big denominator, so we use upper bound. For the smaller the denominator, the bigger the value. So we need big value, we use lower bound. The big the denominator, the smaller the value. We need lower bound of the answer, we use upper bound of the denominator. Think about it, it's basically very simple. Look at this question. We are given the radius. We have to calculate the minimum perimeter. Perimeter is length. We are adding. We use the lower bound of the circle. The radius of circle is 6.5. So what's the lower bound? 6.5 to 1 decimal place. So 1 decimal place is 0.1. So add 0.05. Take away 0.05. Minimum perimeter. Add the lower bounds together. Calculate the maximum. Calculate the diameter. And then calculate the circumference. Maximum area, we are looking at the area, so we calculate and the maximum area, we calculate the upper bound. Once you understand it, I would suggest that you pause this video, go to Maths Genius, attempt all the questions on lower bound and upper bound in this sitting, and then if you get your answers right, that's fine. If you are not getting answers right, check what mistake you're making.